In 6:1, what shall we say then? Are we to continue in sin that grace may abound? He says in verse 2, by no means. By no means. Has anybody asked you a rhetorical question you didn't want the answer for? But what Paul is saying here is he's saying, can I drink 5 cups of coffee, garlic toast, not have brushed my teeth at breakfast, and my breath still smell good? And people are going, duh, no. That's literally like, Paul is asking this question, shall we continue sin so that my grace may abound? And it's almost, if the Matt Phillips English translation would be, duh, no, no. In your mind, you immediately know the answer is no. As a Christian, you immediately know the answer is no because the Holy Spirit says no. If your mom says to you, how are you going to have friends if you're not nice to them? Is she really asking for an answer? What she's really saying is, if you're not nice to them, you won't have friends. Duh, no, you're not going to have any friends. And my son's going to love this one. We have a tractor. It's about 1.5 years old. And every time I drive it, I break it. Every time. I drive that thing like Wreck-It Ralph. I'm in there just running trees over, digging up dirt and breaking stuff, and things are flying. And the question is how is this tractor going to last another 20 years if I keep driving it the way I'm driving it? Duh. No. Slow down. And it's true. I'm thinking of the piece of the tractor that's laying next to the garage now that I got to fix before I brush hog again. So, should we keep on, and this is literally be the entire sermon, should we keep on sinning even though God has forgiven us our sin? And you all say, duh, no, no, no. That's what Paul's saying. No, don't do it. Don't do it. It is literally what's happening here in the Bible. Romans 6 verses 2. I'm sorry, guys. Romans 6 verses 2 and 2 through 8. We're not going to read it all for the sake of time. But it says, how can we who died to sin still live in it? Another rhetorical question. You can't. What are you doing? No. Why are you living in sin? Sin was killed in your life by Jesus' death and burial and resurrection. He killed that sin. It no longer has control of you. You're no longer a slave to it. It is death. It is putrid. It is decaying. It is terrible for you. Why are you still playing around with it? Why are you still sipping the poison? Before Jesus, you didn't have a choice. You didn't have the willpower. You were a slave to it. It was destroying you. You knew it was wrong, but you couldn't overcome it. But with Jesus, he's saying you can overcome it. So why are you choosing to return to it? Don't return to it. Why do you keep on sinning? Verse 8, now if we had died with Christ, believe that we also live with him. So once again, this idea, when we give ourselves to Jesus, we can trade our identity as someone who is in slavery to sin for an identity for somebody who's been set free from sin. You don't have to keep living that way. There's nothing keeping you from moving on in your life. Why are you continuing to do things your way, the sinful way, the destructive way, instead of living a life that is better for you and more designed to do things the way that God created them for you? God has a way for us to live, and it's way better than our own desires and our own ways.